10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. Today is January 17th. My name is Whack Whack Attack, and today's episode is a little bit, it doesn't cover everything. Let's just start there. So the last episode I recorded was on Friday, and this one covers us up until midnight on Sunday night. So tomorrow's episode will then go ahead and cover the rest of it. So it's a little bit like not full. There's just too much information for me to get through. So I'll dividing it out across today and tomorrow. So if you missed some stuff because of that, I'm sorry. So let's start with this right here. We're going to be talking about a push towards a new all-time high, and just this little line from Anthony Sassal gets going to get snuck in as well. That's because the Rocket Pool community is the best. It is the best community. So we had the price on Friday night kind of hovering around 0.02, and then Zero was talking about the price going back up. I guess he thought it was going to dump, so he got a little bit kind of FOMO about that, and he says it's time for me to lose more money. So then he bought in using car swap. So he bought in right here, so 83 ETH worth of RPL, and as soon as he bought, then the price went back down. So he was in the loss right away. However, the price, like lots of people like Zero have been FOMOing in. Lots of people have been buying. There's been a lot of buying going on. But before that, we asked, should Zero stop trading because he lost so much RPL in his trades, and 16 people said yes, and no people said no. So hopefully he'll listen to that and stop trading, because it has not proven to be profitable for him at all. Okay, another thing that happened as well is we reached number 66 on CoinGecko, which was really, really great to see, and that was really, really nice. So good job for everyone to getting us up to number 66. The climb into the top 50 is going to be quite hard, because I think we have to pretty much double in market cap in order to get to the top 50. So once that happens, I think that's definitely going to be pull-up worthy. So also over the weekend, what we had was a new all-time high in the price. So it hit 0.020094, which was absolutely wonderful to see. This person who got the price up to there bought 96 ETH in that one buy, and they got sandwiched and stuff, but that's where the price went up to. However, over the weekend as well, we did see like organic price movements up to 0.0288, I think. But there was some really good price movements, and we hit a new all-time high. So happy all-time high day for Saturday. I think that was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday night. So that was really cool. Okay, next we had this update from Joe, who says that we now have Smartnode version 1.7.3. And it says this is a low priority update for most users. That includes a small fixes, but it's high priority for Lighthouse users that haven't already updated to the latest client version manually, version 3.4.0. As usual, read the full patch notes above for the details, but here are the key changes. And he says, Fornax and Hojo worked with me to greatly improve the time zone selection experience. And then we have Rocket Pool Wallet Recover will now properly set the index for the next validator you create. And for users that run that in the past, you might have to do that again. So, and that's great. Thanks, Joe, for that information. I haven't updated yet, even though I'm on Lighthouse. So I need to do that today, I think. Okay, next we had this update from Mav. So this happened overnight. It says it would have been quicker to write what has not happened over the past 2 weeks, but here is the bumper Biweekly packed with almost everything you could wish for. And then there's the Reddit link, so we'll come back to that. It says the next community call is on early slot, same time next week. So in 45 minutes, it says here. So I think, 45 minutes. But why does it say same time as that? Yeah, sorry. You won't want to miss it, as we have none other than prominent Ethereum researcher Justin Drake joining us for a chat about ultrasound money, because their relay got added to the Smartnode stack. This Twitter space will be hosted from the Rocket Pool account. We've started to build up quite a list of community call special guests and other events in advance now to accommodate different time zones. We're moving the times around, so you can check out quite a few that have been loaded into the Discord's events section. Finding out awesome ETH Denver volunteers, ICYMI. There's now a solution to convert tickets from paid to DAO. So if you paid to pay for the ETH Denver tickets, I think it was like $600, you can convert it to the DAO, which will give you a free ticket, and then you can get your money back. So that's really cool. Okay, let's have a look at the update from Reddit. So here it says our ETH supply has grown annualized percent of 124%, mini pool count 131%, effective RPL staked has declined, annualized decline of 160%. It says rapid RPL price increases can cause collateral to exceed 150% and become ineffective. So there's a line explaining what's happened there. And then node operator count has grown to 1,968, so close to 2,000, annualized growth of 105%, which is really cool to see. Smartnode stack, the Rocket Pool team has been working with Lodestar to resolve compatibility issues in their code with version 1.8.0 beta 1. Meanwhile, 1.7.3 has been released, and then Atlas Smartnode integration work is continuing. Website refresh has commenced, including moving a multi-page setup with more detailed information to ensure that it can appeal to node operators looking to migrate to Rocket Pool once withdrawals are live, and featuring additional LSD and DeFi ecosystem information. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. The second Atlas audit is underway now, with Consensus Diligent starting preparatory work, and then the Rocket Pool router was launched, aggregating rETH secondary markets to fulfill your transaction via the deposit pool and or decentralized exchanges to deliver the best possible rate. Other improvements were made to the staking website, including displaying the premium discount, if any. So that was what we covered in Rocket Fuel last week, and then kicked off work to push rETH exchange rate to Polygon and ZK Sync 2, which is really awesome as well. So integration, there's Pendle, MISO Finance, MetaMask, multiple centralized exchanges listed RPL. Please take all necessary precautions before interacting with centralized entities. The listings include LBank, Bitforex, and Gate.io, and Gate.io are the biggest of those. And then rETH onboarding to Aave has commenced with the publication of an ARC, and I'll cover that in tomorrow's episode. It's really exciting news. Coinbase was proposed as a new ODAO member, which was covered in the Defiant and Bankless, and the event was celebrated in Discord with a POAP. Did I get that POAP? I don't know if I got that POAP. I need to check that if I got that POAP. Yeah, if anyone, I'll need to check that. I don't think I did. An ODAO member launched new mini pools, which was really cool. The first round of grants and boundaries submissions closed. I'm going to be covering that later, with multiple worthy submissions, meaning the committee will have plenty of work ahead to determine how best to distribute the funds. And Joe posted an update to the rewards tree 4. Valdov proposed an RPIP on self-limiting. Superfizz produced an ODAO version 1.7.2 upgrade analysis piece, and Ken posted some proposed protocol changes for the Atlas release. And then media and marketing, relentless LSD fever, so it's going all over the place, and the RPL intern is covering a lot of that. DeFi Llama, Romanian-based company 01 Node launched mini pools. An analyst for CMS produced a report about Rocket Pool. A crypto YouTuber produced content covering Rocket Pool. Gamma produced a thread covering the High Uniswap version 3 volume for rETH. And then there's stuff from Srinam. I had Jasper and Joe on Launchpad. Loopring's quarter 4 report had Rocket Pool information, Exponential Capital, CryptView, and then Misari and Delphi Digital covered RPL, Bloomberg, CoinDesk, Bitcoin Angle, and then mentioned in Crypto Globe and Decrypt, Yahoo Finance, and Crypto News. So make sure you check out all those links, which are linked in the notes and the timestamps, because there's some really good information there. You can go read more about it. Okay, yeah, so I need to find out about that POAP as well. And next, we had this comment. Just give me 1 second. Yes, Lee said there is no fixed date yet for LEB8, right? And I replied by saying, let me see what I replied by saying. I said, I think it's about 6 to 8 weeks away, last week of February, early March, depending on Denver. And then Waldorf said, I think we're after Denver now. And I said it's looking more likely that every day, and that's a shame. It would be huge momentum going into Denver. And then Waldorf said it should be great regardless. We expect to have it on Goerli and solar migrations too. So, we'll be able to show people what it looks like. And then Bossy had a link to a comment from Joe, who says Atlas isn't going to happen in February. So basically the timeline now looks like this is ETH Denver is in the first week of Denver. So it's most likely that Atlas will now go live in the second week of March, once the team is back to their desks and back to actually working, because the whole team is traveling to Denver. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. But I think second week of March should be a fair estimate, hopefully, provided nothing goes wrong with the audits. Okay, so Superfizz sent a message saying be on the lookout for a new imposter, and then the screenshot of a chat that he's having with Mav, and it says, hey man, busy at all? Random question, but I have one for you. And Fizz says, no, not at all. And he says, super random, feel free to say no. And then Fizz says, what's up? He says, I hate to ask, but any chance you could loan me some ETH? I don't need a lot, I can pay you back extra for it. And Fizz says, how much are you thinking? And Mav says, I don't have my ledger with me right now, but I'll be home in 2 to 3 hours to pay you back. I only need 1 ETH. How much would you want for that? And then Fizz says, not a problem, nothing, I trust you. And Fizz says, I sent him 500 ETH before I realized he was a scammer. But then he's got more screenshots. He says, let me know when sent so I can, and Mav says, let me know when sent so I can check on it, please. And Fizz says, okay, is Goerli okay? Also, Maverick says, also I'm making 20% on this order. And then Fizz says, oh, do you want Sepolia? And Maverick says, oh, so if you want extra, it's not a problem. I need mainnet. If you can't, it's all right. Who's the new imposter? Always check name and Discord number. Wait, why did you post our chats? And Fizz says, oh, sure. If you were Maverick, I definitely send mainnet. But for a poser, I can only send testnet ETH. I hope that's okay. So Fizz was spamming the spammer, which was really funny. And yeah, I think the person who's fake Mav messaged a bunch of people and was asking them for ETH, but I don't think they actually ended up getting any ETH, hopefully. But I got a person who was pretending to be Anthony Sassano added me as well, so they didn't actually end up saying anything. But I feel like you should all be careful about imposters in the coming days, because I feel like there might be some around, so something to be careful about. But yeah, if you want to go read the messages, it's quite funny, and the discussion around it is quite funny too. So in other news, let's go back and check the events that Mav was mentioning earlier. He says there's a community call featuring Justin and Drake, which starts in 35 minutes. And then Hudson James sets up a Rocket Pool node, which will be on Thursday. And then Twitter Space featuring Pendle, which is on the 24th. And Twitter Space featuring Miso Finance, which is on the 31st. And to be confirmed community calls featuring special guest on February 14th. And to be confirmed Twitter Space with Exponential Finance on March 15th. So there's a whole bunch of events that have been added in the coming weeks, and that one that's to be confirmed special guest, I think Jasper kind of let it out of the bag by posting a conversation with Srinam, who is I think the CEO and founder of Eigenlayer. And he says, hey Srinam, I hope all is well. I'm wondering if you'd like to join me in the Rocket Pool Twitter space sometime. I just listened to your Zero Knowledge podcast episode and found your intertwining of philosophy and application fascinating. And with withdrawals around the corner, I'd love to expand dialogue about the role of decentralized cohort in a market of security like Eigenlayer. And Srinam said, would love to participate. Thanks so much for the kind note. So it looks like Srinam will be on a Twitter space one of these days soon, which would be really amazing and really cool, because I'm really excited to what he has to say about Eigenlayer and Rocket Pool doing the partnership handshake. Okay, moving on now, we have what do we have now? Luke makes a prediction about centralized exchanges. He says, smelly smell new listings next week. OKX, Huobi, KuCoin, Binance, they can't ignore the market for much longer. Gate was the first remaining relevant exchange missing to list last week. More interesting will be who will be the first one to list rETH. So, as we've seen from the last couple of centralized exchange listings, the price hasn't moved that much directly because of the exchange listing. I think there was a general move in our price that was happening regardless. But every time we get listed to a new centralized exchange, it gives us a lot more legitimacy. It gives us hopefully more volume. It's been kind of insignificant on Kraken and Coinbase so far though, but it definitely adds to liquidity and legitimacy, but to legitimacy. So the one thing about Binance though, however, is that Binance is so much bigger than every other exchange that there is still a Binance pump, and it's been measured at somewhere around 40%, according to an article that we shared last week. So I think as the days go on and this LSD narrative is getting stronger, it'll be harder and harder for these exchanges to not list RPL, especially when they've got all the ERC20 infrastructure in place, with the wallets and deposits and withdrawals and everything. It's so easy to integrate another ERC20. So with that, now with the RPL token being in the mid 60s, which is I think the highest non-exchange, non-LSD token in the charts, in the market cap charts, that is not on one of those, like, is not on Binance basically. So that's going to be really cool to see once that happens, and I think I agree with Luke in the sense that it will be happening soon. Okay, so we had the grants period end yesterday at midnight UTC, and there was, I think, around 20 grants, around 20 retroactive grants, and 2 bounties that were submitted. So to can give a quick summary of the different grants that were submitted. He said Spanish, Rescue Node, Rocket Fuel, Nosho's ODAR paper. Spanish is a translation of the docs into Spanish, Chinese Vietnamese translation, Italian translation, Hungarian translation, French translation, Ken's paper about forced exits, Sleety are doing work on animated GIFs for dissemination. So those are some of the grants, and the retrospective awards covered things like Rocket Scan and Rocket Fuel and patches in support, object in support, and a bunch of other things as well. You can have a look on the DAO forum. So the GMC, of which I am part, has been scoring these grants across 3 main criteria. One of them is how much will this impact the goals of the GMC, which is, to make things better for either rETH holders, RPL holders, stakers, or community members. Is this project feasible? Is it possible to actually do this? And then what is the return on investment? Like, is it worth the money that's being asked? Conversations have been taking place in the community about that last part, especially about how people have been asking for too much. And I'm not really going to give any insider information, but one of the things that's happened is the price has appreciated a lot since the grants have opened, maybe up to like 50%. They've gone up, price has gone up by 50%. So I think those are all things that are going to be taken into consideration in the scoring and then in the evaluation of the grant amounts that we're going to decide on. But one thing that I can say is there's some really good quality grants that have been applied for, whether that's, retroactive or whether that's regular grants. And I think a lot of people are deserving of some RPL. And I'm really excited to move the committee to the next stage. I think we'll have numbers by the end of January. I'm not exactly sure on the date, but I think we're supposed to have everything done by January 31st. So it might be a nice start to February for some of the people who applied for grants. Okay, let's have a look. What's next? So Jonathan Mann released this song, A Song a Day World, for an auction. So it's one of his songs of the day. Let's find that song. And the song is Oh No, My Staking Machine. And let's see if we can play it. So basically, Jonathan Mann's staking machine ran out of space, and he came into the Rocket Pool Discord, and Patches helped him in the Discord, which was really nice of Patches to do, of course. And Jonathan Mann was able to get everything up and going again. So he sang this song about his staking machine basically dying, and Patches helping him fix it, which was absolutely great, and it's such a cool song. So Fizz is currently winning that bid at 0.06 ETH. I wonder if he's going to actually win the song. Oh wait, he actually won it. Sorry. Yeah, the bid finished. So it's really cool. Congrats Fizz on winning that NFT, and good job Patches for inspiring that song. Next we have this couple of comments from Alphin Bob that was part of a whole big discussion about rETH and a node operator and like the balance of rewards, and whether if you take taxes into account, depending on your jurisdiction, whether it's better to be a node operator or an rETH holder. And let's see, Elfin Bob says, I whipped up a quick example of a scenario. If you've got 500 ETH and want to withdraw 25 ETH yearly, for simplicity, let's say the yield is 5% for both node operators and rETH. As a node operator, you make mini pools and stake RPL and live off the rewards, not touching your collateral. Simple. With rETH, you sell 25 ETH worth of rETH at every year's end. This yields the following table, showing that after 38 years, your capital is gone. So if you have a look, after 38 years, your capital is gone because you're selling every month. So in year one, you have 500 rETH, and that's worth 500 ETH. And then you take out 25 ETH every year, and what ends up happening is over time, like after about 10 or 12 years, the amounts start getting bigger and bigger that you're taking out as a percentage of your holdings. And by the time you get to year 35, 36, your amounts are gone. So on the long term, being an rETH holder like that is it can take a lot away from you. And he said random numbers. So Valdov then said column C is wrong, C3 is right, but C4 should be, and then he changed the numbers. He changed the numbers. So then let's have a look at the actual results then. So he says random new numbers. Thanks Valdov. Fun fact, in 100 years, 0.19 rETH will equal 25 ETH if we stay at 5% for that time. So in case, if anybody's interested in how this living off 500 ETH works off rETH, would look like taking 25 ETH per year. So what ends up happening is, these are the correct numbers. Sorry, the previous ones are incorrect. That's my fault for including that. So you start off with 500 and then you're taking out 25 ETH every year. By the time you reach year 25, your amount of rETH will be 155 rETH, but the amount of ETH's value will always be 525. So it's really great that you can kind of like live off this, potentially off this of these rewards, because of the way the rETH rewards appreciate. This might be really attractive for someone in like a few years time, because of course you'll be in long-term capital gains tax in the US. In Europe, it's different taxes in different jurisdictions, but in Germany, rETH sales that you've had for 1 year will be tax-free. However, node operator income will be taxed as income. So there are some considerations to be made there, because you get a much better deal with rETH than you do with being a node operator, I think, in Germany. and maybe some other places too. But this was really great that Alpha Bob put this together, and basically shows that if you have a nice amount of capital to start with, rETH is a good place to just go for passive income for pretty much forever. It's if you talk in ETH denominated terms or not in rETH denominated terms. Okay, so I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Noisuk had this question about how long do you think Rocket Pool will be stuck at max capacity? So here, there's a screenshot from the MetaMask portfolio integration, and it says highest reward is staked ETH, Lido's ST ETH, and then Rocket Pool it shows that it's a max capacity. So max capacity means that you can't mint it through the deposit pool because it's full. So I said I expect that will stay full until Atlas, and then what date will that be? I think it's 8 weeks now that Atlas will go live. And Noisuk says, damn shame that news came a bit early. I said that's what I was saying. I think increasing the deposit pool size in the weeks before Atlas though, and let it fill up. So the idea that I had was increase the Atlas pool size and let it get filled up. So when LEB 8s come online, anyone who wants to start 8 ETH LEB will be able to basically really take advantage of that. And I know there's a whole lot of people on the sidelines waiting for those, including me. I think that's when I'll start another mini pool. LEB 8 is when Atlas goes live, so I can sell RPL in smaller chunks instead of in 16 ETH chunks. So what does that mean? Well, why am I including this is because there was a big discussion that basically started about how the deposit size will increase and whether it's actually even worth something to do. And Jasper says, I believe that's already the plan. And the idea was that basically the more the deposit pool is full and the more ETH there is in there, the more of it will drag on the income for our ETH holders, because there'll just be ETH sat there idle. The idea that I had was if we had a big deposit pool that was full going into withdrawals, especially once we can have pools being split up and mini pools being split up, and also with the solo staker migration, it might be that we can literally get hundreds of new validators in one day if we timed it properly, which would be extremely exciting, especially from a marketing perspective. But anyway, this discussion went on for quite a while, and there were people like Phil Kerr saying it's a mistake, in my opinion, and people were covering both sides of the argument about whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing. And they're saying that it just doesn't make a difference because the ARB bots will just fill it up and farm the ARB for themselves. But Whisker shared this idea that maybe the team would be able to ARB the difference themselves and then give out that money to our ETH holders, which might be a nice little boost for them. So that discussion went on for quite a while. And then Whisker said the proposal has the team capturing the premium ARB as the maximum is increased and give it to our ETH holders. So I think that's a really good way of doing it, which would, I think, be really exciting. So let's see what happens with that. Okay, so a couple of things to finish up with. One is that Ethereum's Ether token went ultrasound on its supply chain since the merge. So the period after the merge, obviously, the issuance went down significantly and we still had the burn going on. So in that time now, we are currently deflationary as of right now. I think we have actually nearly 1,000 ETH under, 912 ETH under how much ETH there was on the day of the merge. So that's really exciting that, we've reached that milestone again. We obviously went under ultrasound barrier for a few days in November, maybe even a couple of weeks. I think it was, about nearly 3 weeks we were ultrasound, and then we went up. But I think this peak that we hit in October of around I think 12,000 ETH above merge day, I think that's going to be maybe the peak forever, because a couple of good days of burning will let us take up weeks of issuance. So that's really cool. Yeah. And then finally, this really funny thing happened on Twitter. For those that you might not seen it, Suzu shared a picture of a bear in a cage, and Anthony Sassano replied by saying, "Shouldn't you be in there as well?" So Suzu is one of the founders of 3 Arrows Capital, who was involved in a huge losses for investors and the whole cryptocurrency market as a whole. So they did a lot of dodgy dealings, a lot of lies, a lot of fraud, basically, and then they ran away, the 3 Arrows Capitals guy. So for Anthony Sassano saying, "Shouldn't you be in there as well?" was just like the most perfect reply that he could have done. So and then he got blocked. So yeah, anyway, on that note, I'm going to finish today's episode. There's a lot of stuff that happened on Monday that is not covered in this episode, like Aave stuff that's going on, and some really prominent Ethereums coming by into the Rocket Pool Discord and like setting up mini pools, and that will all be covered in tomorrow's episode, along with stuff from today, like Justin Drake's Twitter space that he's about to join. So have a great week, everyone ahead of you, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.